Good morning. Welcome to the garden. Sorry if there's some air conditioner noise today. We're getting into that season where it gets a little bit harder to get out here without air conditioners, because even in the morning I do have a sweatshirt on, but it's starting to warm up. We're going to be in like the 80s today Fahrenheit, so should be nice. But I wanted to update you. I did a couple plantings. As you can see, there's a lot of mess going on in the garden right now because we're kind of in that like planting phase. So I planted up actually this hanging basket. This was the one where I put, if you remember, I put coleus in here, some impatiens that I started from seed, and also some morning glories. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I lost the coleus and the impatiens. The morning glories are still going pretty well, so I replanted this, and then I also planted up my Hayrack window box, and I wanted to show you the really beautiful plants that I have going on in there because I think it's gonna be gorgeous. So let me just give you a quick little highlights through all the things we're planting. It's starting to be really planting season, so I feel like I have so many plans and so many projects, but lots of good things happening. So okay, so first I'll just start with this hanging basket. So I ended up, let me flip you around and show you. So I ended up putting in one of these really pretty calibrachoas. I thought this was really beautiful and kind of red. I'll find the tag. So I put this in my Hayrack as well, and I kind of wanted to mirror like the different colors throughout the garden so that everything ties in. But I thought that was really stunning. And then I also put in here a mini bell pepper. So this is like a little container style pepper plant, which I think will be really fun. I'm really curious to see how it grows in a hanging basket. I've never done peppers like this in a hanging basket before, so that will be a new challenge for me. But it's a container sized plant. I think it gets maybe, you know, max 2 feet tall or 1.5 feet. And then it gets like little tiny snack size peppers that you can eat. So that will be, I think, a pretty mix too next to the calibrachoas. They tend to both do both peppers and these super bells, you know, calibrachoas. They tend to do really well with heat and a little bit drier conditions. They can handle it. And then of course the morning glory, which, you know, morning glories are just tough. That one is doing okay, so it's starting to climb, and that'll have blue flowers. So next to this color, I think with the blue, that should be really, really pretty. And we'll just have to watch and see how it grows. But yeah, with the slightly drier conditions, these super bells tend to do well in kind of hanging baskets, hay rack situations. They like water, but they don't like to sit and like be wet for a long time. So I actually found hay racks can be a little tricky. This kind of cocoa fiber dries out quick. If you like the look of this, just know that you're going to be watering these containers, I mean, every day, sometimes twice a day. And especially at the end of the season, once the root ball really takes up all of the soil, you're going to be watering these a lot if you go for this style of hanging basket. I didn't quite realize that when I got all cocoa fiber hay racks, that how much watering is involved if you have one of these. But that said, they're really pretty, and for something like a, you know, calibrachoa, it's perfect. So that's the new combination. And this happens, you know, when seedlings die, I just change them out, switch it out, whatever. So I left that there, and then I'll show you. Let's look at the hay rack. Okay, so I positioned the hay rack on the fence here. And as you can see, I have another one of these really pretty calibrachoas. And then I did a Vermillionaire Kufia, which this is a hummingbird attractor. This is like hummingbirds. These will attract hummingbirds too, but this is such a hummingbird plant. I specifically placed this hay rack on the fence where I can see it right out my window. So where I like to sit and drink coffee upstairs is right directly looking out at this. So hopefully if we get lots of hummingbirds, I can see them right out the window, and that'll be perfect. And then the last plant, well, I have 2 more plants. So I also put in a cucamelon. So I started this cucamelon from seed, and so that will kind of spill out and trail over and probably go wild and grow all over this area. So that is going to be really cute. And then this is a Super Veena Royal Romance. And so that's kind of another, like a red, like a deepish kind of red, all to attract the hummingbirds right out my window. And I think it also has enough of the antique tones that it'll sort of match with the rest of the garden. At least that's my hope. Of course, right now it doesn't look like much, but just give me a couple weeks and I think it's gonna start really filling out. And I just think these are so pretty. I mean, oh my gosh, gorgeous. I'm gonna need to come out and start taking some pictures of some of those because they're really beautiful. So I wanted to tie in the look of I'm just checking to see if my squash are coming up. I keep looking and they're not coming up. I'm hoping this week, while it's really hot, that'll be enough to get the squash to sprout. If not, I'm gonna have to resow. So sorry, little tangent. But I tried to pull in the colors from this hayrack into other places in the garden. So I've got the other calibrachoas in the hanging basket, that'll tie in. And then I put another one of these super Veenas over in another pot. So if you remember, this pot had lancenato kale and the parsley. So I left the Italian parsley because that's gonna grow beautifully over the season. And I put in the super Veena. This one is blooming really beautifully. So it'll just kind of pull in this color from the hayrack and hopefully keep things looking a bit cohesive. And I thought it was just so pretty. And then I put in a Jimmy Nardello pepper. So this will continue to grow, and I'm just gonna make sure I keep enough sun space for it for the next few weeks until it picks up size. But I think that'll be really beautiful in here too. And then we'll have kind of, you know, mix of the herbs, the edible, and the super Veena. Should be just a great combination. And yeah, tie in the color. So I want it to be kind of like you look around the garden and your eye, you know, meets with all the different colors and just has a cohesive feel. I have learned in my container gardening years that the more that you can get those cohesive kind of looks, the better. It's easy when you're doing containers, at least for me it was, to be like, oh, I love this plant, I'm gonna go like put one here and then I'm gonna go put one there. But the more that you can tie the different parts of the like the different elements of the container to different places in the garden, it just is more restful for your eye, and it just helps your eye to sort of, I don't know, to flow around the garden, I guess, and it just is a little bit prettier and a little bit easier. As I'm out here just talking about these containers, I noticed that my perennial banana is actually coming up, which I am shocked because I actually gave up on it and I haven't even been watering its grow bag. And here it is. Would you look at that? I thought this was dead. I even like dug down and was like, oh, it looks pretty rotted, the root ball. But no, we have a perennial banana. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to see this. This is so cool. I can't believe that came up. I love this part of spring. All the surprises are so much fun. Oh my goodness. That is awesome. I really did not expect that. And I was about to replant this grow bag actually too. I do want to I think I'm going to put maybe like a banana pepper in with the banana to be kind of funny. I don't know. But I'm so excited that came back up, and I'm glad I didn't buy another banana yet. I'm glad I gave it a little bit of time. Always learning, you know, which plants are going to take a little while to come up and all of that. And so this is good to know that the banana is here. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. So the rest of my morning, I just need to clean up. I have a few more containers. Over this next week or so, I'm going to be planting a bunch, and I will be taking you with me and showing you as I'm planting these different things. And I did buy a few other plants at the garden center. I've got some stuff I'm looking at right now that I need to get planted. So we're going to be doing a lot of that over the next weeks or so. But right now, this morning, I just want to come out and kind of get the garden tidy, because when it starts getting in disarray like this, it gets hard for me to focus on my projects. So that is what I'm going to do for the rest of my morning, is just tidy and clean and sweep all the dirt that is everywhere. As I was out here sweeping, I noticed a bunch of little seedlings. I'm going to try to really carefully take these out from the cracks, because these are not weeds. These are actually little black-eyed Susans. This is I think these are from my Blackjack Gold. Oh, I hope I don't kill you. Come here. Ooh, that one might have lost. My Blackjack Gold Black-Eyed Susan. I had it over here when it was at the end of the season and really in seed. It is one of my favorite Black-Eyed Susans I've ever had. Oh, these are so cute. Okay, I'm gonna plant them. I know where I'm gonna plant them and see if they grow. I'm gonna take them over here. This is a total, like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but I would love it if it works. And over here, get a little, oh, I need to come out and trim the grass here too. Got grass trying to come through the fence. I'm gonna make a little spot right here. It's nice and wet over here, so hopefully these seedlings will do okay. And try to plant them into the mulch. They're pretty hardy since obviously they were just trying to come up in in the middle of the cracks of the sidewalk. But the Blackjack Gold is this adorable Black-Eyed Susan. It has these really small little flowers, and they're just really pretty. It's just such a cute plant. Oh, I hope these guys can take off here. I may come in with a little bit of potting soil and just sprinkle it around them. That's exciting. A little bit of weeding while I'm over here. That is actually not a weed. Shoot, that's the borage I planted over here. Uh-oh. Okay, well, we'll see if that comes up. But this is exciting. This is so fun. And I love that they just came up in the middle of the stone patio. It's always fun when you have stuff like that. Just little plants making it. There's a bunch that's seeded in the bed too. I'm gonna let these get a tiny bit bigger since they're in the actual garden bed, and then I'm gonna try to resow them somewhere else in the garden too, because I really loved this flower, and it was my favorite Black-Eyed Susan last year, so I'm really excited that there's so many coming up, and I'm just gonna let them grow here, and then when they get a little bit big, I'll try to move them around the garden and fill my garden with Black-Eyed Susans. All right, I've got the garden basically cleaned up. I just need to take care of those old root balls. Otherwise, it's looking good. Got some projects in the works. All clean and fresh and fertilized and watered. It feels so good to have the garden at this place. If it's all messy out here, I don't know. It makes me feel a little stressed. So it's nice to get it all cleaned up. And I've got all the seedlings down here. They're about ready to get planted out. So I am just leaving these guys out to get some sun and keep growing. I'm gonna pop a little bit of fertilizer in here probably tonight, but I don't wanna overwater things. I did wanna say, just look at these containers of greens. I'm gonna come out this evening and harvest a bunch of the biggest greens out of these baby greens, because they're just, all these baby green containers are starting to fill out. They did really well this year, which is so nice. Last year I had a little trouble. My container of greens didn't look so good, but this year they look really beautiful. And that's just so encouraging to see. I love them. They're gonna be so delicious. And I just come out and I just take out the biggest leaves like that, and then it makes like a perfect baby green salad. We've got some arugula over here, and then these are all different lettuces. And then of course we have the big head lettuce too, which is also doing really well in the containers. And I've just harvested a bunch of that. And then I actually have more head lettuce in the beds here, and some apricot nasturtiums coming up. I mean, this is the time of year. It's just everything is growing. Here's the carrots. I'm gonna keep an eye on, hopefully be able to harvest some carrots too. And I've also been coming out and like pushing them off so that they don't interfere with the growth of all of the lettuce and the nasturtiums. And then last but not least, I actually have some cilantro growing in this corner. So this is a nice, cool, shady corner, and I'm experimenting with seeing if I can get the cilantro to grow a little bit longer and last a little bit longer over in this corner, since it is so shady and cool. That's the plan. And I threw down a few seeds for some chamomile, and that's coming up over here too. I mean, everywhere I look, there's just something growing. It's so fun right now. This is the best time of year for sure. I'm gonna see. I know I threw some chamomile some other places too, so we'll see if that's coming up. I see a cucumber coming up. I just planted those over there. And right now I'm really waiting on my squash. I put 2 squash seeds in here. If they don't come up in the next couple of days, I may come in and put in some more squash. I don't know. We'll see. But growth on the cucumbers. Yeah, just everything happening. Okay, I'm gonna deal with these root balls. That's my last project for today. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.